These are 10 more scams you should not fall for in 2021. Welcome back to the channel. I'm the YouTube deal guy, Matt Granite. I'm excited to have you here and hopefully protect you from these awful scams. From a giant Amazon hoax to real estate investment scams, work from home and utility bill scams, and even a giant Facebook scam that will leave your jaw on the floor. I am here to help. If you guys like this content, please feel free to give this video a thumbs up. And if you do have anyone in your family, your household, or friends that might be susceptible to any of these scams that I'm going to explain, please feel free to share this video with them. The first scam you should protect yourself from is a very prevalent Amazon scam. I could have easily become a victim if I had just simply clicked a link in one of these emails that I'm going to show you right now. So for this first scam that I'm going to explain, it's an email from Amazon that will tell you that your order is on hold. At an initial glance, it kind of looks legit. It has the Amazon logo, although it is only addressed dear customer rather than your name. If you actually read through it, there are plenty of people that will just be waking up in the morning, a quick glance at the smartphone, they're in a meeting, and they simply click the update now, which will then pass all of your personal credit card information and even your Amazon account along to a hacker that could then scam your account, buy other items that are fraudulent, and compromise your identity. My general rule of thumb is don't click on any link in any email. If Amazon does indicate there's a problem with your account, you can always call them on your own. They have an actual customer service number, which I'll put in the video description box. You can also just visit the Amazon website on your own without clicking any of the links and see what's going on in your account. And speaking of Amazon, if you've ever wondered how those porch pirates and video doorbell bandits are stealing your packages right in plain sight of a camera and other people in your neighborhood, there is a new tactic that they are using, and that is the second scam that I want to make you aware of right now, and this is a package stealing scam. If you've ordered anything from Amazon or countless other online retailers, you've likely seen a rental truck and a delivery person wearing a crossing guard type construction overvest. Countless companies, including Amazon, use these third-party independent contractors that typically rent cars and are not direct employees of Amazon or other retailers to complete many of their local deliveries. You don't always see a UPS, a FedEx, or a DHL truck. Thieves, including many package burglars in my community, have picked up on the fact that if they rent a truck and wear some type of crossing guard vest, they can actually steal packages in plain sight. Here's how it works. A thief will come out of a truck or a van with 3 to 4 packages and find houses where packages are already sitting outside. They'll put a fake box in place of the 2 to 3 that they are grabbing, and if someone catches them in the act, they simply just tell them that they realized they were at the wrong house or they were sent back to reclaim a package that was mislabeled. It sounds convincing enough, but these people are so bold, they will come right up to your house while you're there and even wave to you or your neighbors in plain sight. And in many cases, they get away with it because they look oddly official, or at least more reminiscent of what you would see for a typical Amazon delivery from an actual delivery person. Before I play you actual audio tied to a phone scam that I've received, in the number 3 spot is a top 10 scam you should not fall for in 2021. It's a clickbait scam. And this is something that you'll otherwise often see tied to reputable websites, including local news. So if you watch while I scroll through this specific webpage, you're going to find actual news stories tied to this organization. And then beside ads for Toyota, which don't really apply to me because I don't need a new car, or oval cut diamond eternity rings, which again don't apply to me because I'm already married and my wife seems to like what she has, although this looks very nice. But then you're going to see other icons or tiles that kind of look similar to the actual news that's being covered on this webpage, trying to bait you to click. So, woman files for divorce after seeing this photo. Not only do they want my location, but if you go through the actual gallery before this article usually gets to the point, and you keep clicking the continue banner and scrolling past all of the advertisements, and you'll often see some of these scams tied to Hollywood gossip. But what they're hoping you'll do is eventually just misclick. You'll click here, or you won't click the continue, and then when you do click on the wrong page, you'll often end up on something that will then lock your computer. Your computer will tell you have a virus. You need to give a company a credit card number to unlock your computer. My point being, watch very carefully where you click, and if you do see these so-called stories, the best way to differentiate many of these click scams from actual reputable content is to look for something that says sponsored, often in very small text right under the photo, and it is confusing because it is thrown up around actual content from a reputable source, but something that you definitely want to be very careful of before you click. In the number 4 spot is another scam you should not fall for in 2021. It's a telephone scam where you are rewarded for being the best customer for a service that you use that isn't necessarily actually from a company anywhere near you. A company that might be calling to offer you a great deal on
maintenance and oil change package for being a loyal customer. Call me back at 8.
They're very personable voicemails. You may have received one and you're just thanked generically for being a great customer with a huge deal on your next oil change or maintenance for your vehicle, kind of like the car warranty scam. But in this case, many of us are not as suspicious. It's a kind voicemail from someone with a specific number to call. The issue is that when you call to book this too good to be true oil change offer for your next vehicle where they're quoting you a price of $100 for your next 8 oil changes, you are in fact giving your credit card information and sending payment to a company that doesn't even do oil changes, often overseas. But if you own a car, you get oil changes. If you own a car, you typically get maintenance done on it. And sometimes we don't realize from that first phone call that this isn't actually in any way associated with the auto body shop or the dealership where we get our car regularly serviced. So of course, just another scam to be cognizant of. Which brings me to the next scam in the number 5 spot, a common real estate scam that's making its way from one town to the next, one city to my voicemail right now with this message.
Hey, this is Sarah. I just wanted to follow up on a voicemail I left you a while ago. My partner and I are real estate investors here in Mount Clemens, and we're interested in property that you own. If you've at all thought about selling, give us a call back, 248-657.
Anyhow, I don't own property other than this home where I live right now. And often these companies will do research on the specific area code associated with your phone number and then sometimes actually narrow down the area where you live and tell you that they are interested in your property. Of course, they're not real. All they'd really like, other than the deed to your property through some error that you might make on paperwork, is of course some type of processing fee or a brokerage fee that you pay out of pocket before they give you that huge amount of cash for your home from people that are not in any way located anywhere near you, nor are they actually licensed real estate agents. In the number 6 spot, before I get to a company that is possibly going to steal a sample of your voice and use it against you, there's another scam going around called Operation Income Illusion. And this is essentially a check scam where you will be paid from a company to then buy supplies for a venture that at a first glance appears to be real. One example of this is you are tied to some new work from home company where they mail you a check for a certain amount of money, and then you go to an online portal and you buy all of your supplies with the money you've been sent. Another example is this car wrap scam going around tied to the same type of concept. A company will send you a check, you sign up via social media through some of these other websites that will target your inbox. You give them your information and then they mail you a check for $2,000 to $3,000. And they tell you, keep $1,000, but spend $2,000 of the $3,000 that we've spent you on this special printer you need to print these decals for your car, or decals if that's how you prefer to pronounce it. And once you've paid for all of the supplies through this online portal, given up your credit card and personal information, your bank, where you've cashed the check, will likely realize that it is in fact fraudulent, and when they've reversed all of the funds from that check that was never really yours to begin with, you've spent $2,000 on supplies that you're never going to get, tied to an offer that was really too good to be true in the first place. In the number 7 spot, it's a voice sample stealing robo scam, often from a Washington, D.C. number or an area code that you trust. And here's one of the things that I will play for you as a sample. I receive phone calls every week, and when I answer my phone, I hear this. And then it goes silent. And at that point, some of us will yell back at the person, or we'll say, hello, hello, I think you have the wrong number. And what's actually happening is the other end of the telephone line is recording a sample of your voice. Now, we're never quite sure how our voices could be used against us, but just an example, many banks, including TD, use a specific technology called voice print. And if their system registers that it is in fact your voice, you can sometimes have access to a bank account, which without the regular path of verification would allow you to potentially move funds. Now, this might be a bit of a stretch for this specific example, but if there's an area code that you don't recognize, don't answer the phone call. And if there's nothing on the other end of the phone, certainly don't supply additional examples of your voice. In many of these cases, these services are just testing to see whether or not your line is active, and then it gets added to some type of massive robocall database. But it's those longer calls where you keep saying hello and talking that someone could potentially use your voice against you. In the number 8 spot, before I tackle that Facebook Marketplace scam, there's another scam, yet again, tied to your utility provider. There are 2 examples of this scam going around, and I recently just received this bill informing me that I have $648 due for 1 month of electric use, and there's absolutely no way in my home that that would have ever occurred. So the first thing they want you to do is log in and review your bill, and whether you are a so-called commercial or residential customer. And in this case, all you're going to be doing to this specific website is providing your personal information. After getting your attention with this crazy amount due, you'll be greeted by another page that will then tell you that you are in fact owed $648 because you've overpaid your bill. And how can they get that money to you? Well, with your direct deposit information that you then supply, further opening up your bank account or credit card to more illicit activity. So first thing is first. Other than the whole knowledge is power factor, which we've got going on, and again, thank you so much for watching this video, you can also independently contact your utility providers or go on to the website for your utility provider and log in on your own, but don't click any links, don't click through any portals supplied to you via email or on social media. In the number 9 spot, it's a Facebook Marketplace scam where someone could potentially easily steal your phone number. Here's how it works. If you are trying to buy something from someone else, or if you've listed an offer for something that you want someone else to buy, you might hear from the so-called buyer or seller where they say, "I've been scammed before and I want to ensure that you are a real person. Give me your phone number, I'm going to text you a 4-digit code, give that code back to me, and then we'll wrap up this transaction." So our initial thought is, all right, that makes sense, no problem. Here's my phone number. You give them the number, and then they text you a 4-digit code that you send back to them. It all sounds normal, but what's actually occurring is once you give someone your phone number, they are applying for a Google Voice number. And for Google Voice to tie itself to your account, you need that 4-digit code. Google is texting the 4-digit code to you. You're then texting it back to a hacker or a scammer, and there you go. They've just taken possession of your phone number that they can then turn into a robocalling number in about 60 seconds flat. So that is one thing you might want to be aware of before you deal with anyone on Facebook Marketplace, let alone any type of transaction on social media. In the number 10 spot, before I get to 2 bonuses, including a door-to-door charity scam, and something you should be aware of on YouTube, there is a credit card drop detection scam going around where you receive an email similar to what you see on the screen right now where it actually has my name correct. "Matthew, please review your alert. Your FICO score has decreased." And it appears to be coming from Experian. If you're like me, some companies that you've done business with have now had massive data breaches. For me, it was M Life Resorts in Las Vegas from a stay I had a couple of years ago, or more recently, a T-Mobile hack. To compensate, companies like M Life or T-Mobile provide free credit score monitoring through legitimate services like Experian. The problem is that the scammers that have compromised those companies have caught on to this, and they will berate you with emails indicating that your credit score has dropped. And the alerts appear to come from legitimate companies like Experian. First thing, obviously, don't click the links in the email. The second tool I have is a free resource to stay further ahead of the scammers, and if you expand the video description box, you will find a link. It's a completely free website where you simply enter your email address or phone number, and then in precisely 1 second, you can find if your phone number or email address has been compromised and the source from where it was compromised or hacked. So in my case, there's the MGM Resorts data breach, which I was aware of, and then something from a company called DriveSure that I had absolutely no knowledge of, where this breach was tied to a car dealership that I apparently interacted with. Had I not used this service, I would not have known about the DriveSure breach. And this is one other resource to stay a step ahead of cyber criminals, hackers, and overall thieves when it comes to your personal information. Before I wrap up this video, I've got 2 quick bonus scams that I want to share with you. The first is tied to a door-to-door charity scam. Sometimes it's a really cute kid. Sometimes it's a very well-dressed individual with an employee ID number where they tell you that if you do support their charity, it's tax deductible, it's going to a great cause. And before you give them the credit card in exchange for the pamphlet or any other personal information, there's a quick tool. If you expand the video description box, I also have a link to this where you can see if the organization is in fact an actual charity. Sometimes they're for-profit organizations, and other times they're not a charity at all. You can quickly search the registered database with the IRS tied to your city, your state, or in addition to just searching the name of the charity, you can actually check employer identification numbers that many of us are given when someone comes to our door. So this is a phenomenal resource. And now for the final bonus scam that I want to share with you, something that affects users of YouTube, whether you are a creator or a commenter on a video. When I comment on a video, typically you will see a check mark. And if I do respond to a comment like this, you can generally click on the comment and then it'll take you to my profile page. But there are other hackers that will use the exact image of the creator that you think you're interacting with and then tell you to text them at their WhatsApp number or join them on Telegram or some other service where they're just trying to grab your personal information. Sometimes the schemes appear as someone talking about how reliable a specific cryptocurrency is, and then 30 comments below it where everyone is all echoing the same sentiment. If you look at the time or date stamp tied to the subsequent comments, you'll notice that they're all generated within 15 or 20 seconds of the initial comment, and that's because they are generated by computers. So whether it's someone praising a hacker or cryptocurrency or someone pretending to be your favorite creator, just be cognizant of that on any platform, including YouTube. Now, if you guys like the content that I did share right here on YouTube, it's actually me, not a scam, please feel free to give this video a thumbs up. I'd really appreciate it. If you subscribe and turn your notifications on, I promise I'll have more videos like this in the future. Please feel free to share it. Thank you so much for watching. Bye-bye.